Mr. Trinidad, tell me what scene you on. Do you just like political confusion? You criticizing the way you live, yet you can't produce an alternative. You say you against the power structure. You ain't like the opposition either. But take care, you jump out the hot water and end up in the center of the fire. Because you refuse to vote in election. But then you want revolution. You're strongly against communism. You walk out on colonialism. You say if William had to go, for who to replace him, you ain't know. So to make a long story short from in front, Trinidadians ain't really know what they want. My friend, if you don't want democracy, the opposite is guerrilla activity. If you don't want democratic improvement, you have to want a revolutionist government. And yet when Guy Harewood went in the hills with Jennifer Jones, you let them get killed. All you're doing is grinning and skylarking. You come like the ass in the lion's skin. Because you say Robinson is a traitor. You say what's than that about Ranger. You say Kamal seeking his own interest. You call Millet a Marxist Leninist. You are ODAC, neither DLP, and you say DNM is only Ratchet. Well, you tying up yourself. I gonna tell you why. Trinidadians just like plenty mama guy.
Yes, indeed, of course. A pleasant good night to all and sundry, East, West, North, South, Central, and Trinidad. Our friends in Tobago, and wherever you are streaming on the World Wide Web, pleasant good day to you. Yes, indeed, of course. I thought I should not just be nostalgic, but be frank and be forthright. Because, see, the PNM today is claiming that it is political witch hunting and, of course, victimization. Let me repeat. Witch hunting and victimization with respect to the blood money edifice that they constructed only when they were in power. Now that they are out of power, it can't finish as we predicted. But yet still they have the audacity, the temerity, the gall, the effrontery to say that somehow the money over $100 million was legitimately acquired. Well, the police will determine that. The police will determine that. The police will determine that, people. But you, Trinbagonians, are getting some disquieting murmurs that suggest what this particular calypso is reflecting. Listen to him.
He's a hero. Well, this attitude, like Humpty Dumpty, you might fall off the wall eventually. Because you say Butler was too high-handed. Stephen Marriage, uneducated. You say that we can't trust Jamada. You find Sukaran to Konkosa. You say the accent is on the young man. Yet you run and call back Ashford Sinanan. But you won't call back until you call disaster. Like the colonial days of the slave master.
Yeah. And I say without fear of contradiction and emphatically that if the PNM was in government, what you are seeing here in terms of what the present government is grappling with on a daily basis, doing what is required to take us out of the morass and the quagmire that we have found ourselves in because of the PNM. 9 years too much in office, and generally too long in office, and believe that they could hoodwink, deceive, connive, destroy, and become a predator for the treasury of Trinidad and Tobago, and then in opposition attempting to absolve themselves, nobody else, they want to absolve themselves of the iniquities and the evil and the diabolical execution of abusive political power. And we did say on a regular basis during the elections and just before the preceding, of course, 9 years, that the PNM has this proclivity, this propensity to do evil, to execute evil, to project evil, and then say it is others. But their DNA and their fingerprint is so well entrenched, is so indelibly implanted not only in our minds, but in the nefarious and the malfunctioning of almost every single blasted institution in this country, that they could never escape culpability. And don't tell me you don't know what I'm talking about, whether it be the fake oil matter, whether it be the Ben Thomas matter and the kidnapping and the use of regional aircraft to execute a diabolical act against a citizen. One judge called it a kidnapping. Or the exploitation of the sickness that Vincent Nelson had, cancer, to extract a statement, to indict, to incriminate Anand Ramlogan and Ramdin. Don't forget, they are pretending as though they are the victim of something that is a figment of their own imagination. Let's go to the lines. Let me see if I can get that line, boy. Let me see if I can get that line. Let me see if I can get that line. All right. Let's see if you're going to get it. Let me accept. Good day. Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, man. Yes, I just tested to see what's happening there. Right. I don't need my phone, but go ahead, my friend. Go ahead.
I was taking a sabbatical to try to stay off the airways for a while, but I believe I had to come back in. I had to come back at those PNM trolls. So let me start one time.
Go ahead.
First of all, I want to congratulate all those SCA students who are going on to secondary school.
Indeed.
They have been gifted a laptop by the mother of the nation, and I hope they use it well and wisely, including the duendes and parrots and the hyenas, all of them getting laptops. So I'm hoping
it is not any discrimination. It's indiscriminate. Everybody getting it.
Right.
Yes.
Everybody. Okay. The second thing is, you ever hear economist by the name of, he was a junior finance minister under Teixeira. He was a color brown.
Yeah. Mariano.
Right. Why are people continuing to put microphones and to ask him his opinion? The gentleman has no integrity. They must not ask that person about anything in finance. He failed to attend and give evidence in the Commission of Inquiry into CLICO. We had a chance to find out what went wrong. He was an employee of that organization, CIB. And Coleman, in his utterance, is call out Enel and call out, I think his Montai, they all failed. So we as a country must not take any advice. He has no integrity, and he ended up in a financial institution as the director of the UWI IOB. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I suspect because of that very association and the fact that he is loyal to, for want of a better term, a conspirators organization.
Right, he's part of the Cosa Nostra.
Yes.
So when CNC3 and TV6, all of them asking him for an opinion, I just squint. I discuss in my mind, why are you going to somebody who might have allegedly facilitated the downfall of PICO? You understand? We ask you for information and you fail to respond to giving, I think he failed to respond to the Salmon letter or something like that. It goes there, a Coleman report says that. No. We have a lady who spreads the gospel of the PNM. That is the head of the state. And is interested, and she is hypocritical also. She had a number of pan players, very, very young one. And what she is uttering to the public, they must make pan playing and steel band attractive to the young ones. Is apparently she is suffering from Alzheimer. During the 2010-2015, the SACAC component was music. And every school who wanted pan in the school got a complement of pan once they could have provided the room. And a music teacher was provided for all those primary schools to teach pan and music. And you know who stopped it? Rip Van Winkle, Garcia, and Bunters. So, being one of the persons who spread the gospel of the PNM, tried to hoodwink us. That was something there 10 years ago, and the PNM mashed it up. So those people, I had to clap back. My third point, I hear the Bell, the Antoine, the Chancellor of UWI, calling for Trinidad to accept the CCJ, and our mother the nation say, not as yet. And I'm going to identify why we cannot go there yet. And it has to be the caliber of judges. And in our cases, we have plenty of homework to do. First of all, you remember Limo? Limo has been he run from Trinidad and appointed a judge in the
Eastern Caribbean Court of Justice, yes.
So he might be, they must line him here up to be a CCJ judge, right? But how can you put him as an appeal court judge or a judge when he's a lying, made some lies in affidavit?
Yeah, clearly that his credibility certainly has questions.
Is questionable.
Yes, his
Right.
integrity, yes.
The second issue is, you remember the appeal court judge Nolan Burrow?
Yes.
In his retirement speech, what he said about a number of judges in the appeal court in the Lennox Felix, aka Abubakar thing, when two of them said, no, his indemnity is good, and one say, no, that is Roger Hammersmith, it is sound. And you know what he said about them? They were complicit and they might have been frightened. How can you take judges in Trinidad to put them on the CCJ when their integrity is questionable? The third one, you remember a fellow by the name, independent senator named Vera?
Yes.
You remember it had some judges who come down into the political diet and was conversing with him and talking to him how Jayanti was behaving and things?
In fact, he said that in all certain terms without naming anybody.
And
But go ahead.
and then investigated. So you're putting the judges and them under suspicion. They are
Yeah.
not credible. They have no integrity. So you see 3 instances are telling you our selection of judges. The 4th one, you remember the nice case they called Marcia Caesar
Yes.
case? Who selected them? The Joint Select Committees. As soon as the appeal court mashed them up, 2 judges resigned. Forthwith, they tell you what they resigned for. That was a fellow by the name of Humphrey Dumphrey and a fellow by the name of Hamlin Smith. You understand? They resigned because they know something went on in the GLSC and they run from it. Ivor didn't run, even though the LATT tell him he should run and you should resign. Stay put. So I am showing you arguments that and evidence that is in the public domain that we cannot go to the CCJ yet until the whole region has a system for appointed judges that is unblemished. You understand what I'm
I hear
saying?
you. I hear you, my friend. And I think that argument is well ventilated. One, very, very cogent, and at the same time potent and relevant. So thank you very much. Yes.
And the last one,
Oh, go ahead. Yes.
why we only talking about Balize House and finances, boy? We have to be balanced. Go back to the parliament. It's not only the financing of Balize. KPB2 made 2 allegations, right?
Mm-hmm.
She said financing, who financed it, which you want to know, but she also thrown into the guile in the parliament, the pedophile connection. Nobody talking about that. But that is an easy case, and I will go on to the airway and push the Commissioner of Police to open that cold case. Because the man who do the Sabra 1997 identified one of them still living, and one of them was a high government official in the last PNM government. He said one of them gone to the great beyond, and somebody said the name of street in the Martin after him. Naked have been planting the seeds all over the place about this thing. So that's an easy case. That is where we have to nail the people who continue to protect pedophiles. We can't go nowhere until we bring them to justice.
Well, I think what is more significant as far as I am concerned is the fact that these people with questionable character, not certification, character, are holding high offices in this country and therefore wielding power that is unmeritorious as far as their integrity and their character is concerned. And it doesn't augur well for Trinidad and Tobago and our young people who are aspiring to those very, what I consider to be exalted offices. But go ahead.
Right. And our new minted Attorney General, JJ, said, we know the playbook and are coming for you and you.
Yes, yes.
Al-Wari brought the legislation and it's passed in June 2nd, 2026. There's an article about it. He tells Guevara, go after them, show me the way. I mean, they say it's their legislation and he's taking credit for it. Eh? You see how it come going to bite them? He bite his own tail. I'm going to have a nice evening.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, of course, for that very brief but certainly precise and incisive statement in terms of the contribution and what we should be looking for. Because you see, I started by looking at the corrupt nature, that cesspool of corrupt activities, nepotism, cronyism, misbehavior in public office, abuse of office. All of those can be ascribed, and I was making the point that it would have been extremely more difficult for the PNM to manage the affairs of this country if the UNCs, the savior that they have turned out to be, did not take office. You know that the Americans would not have fought on Trinidad and Tobago. You know that, right? You know that. But let me just see, Mr. Right. Let me get Mr. Let me get my co-host on in talk with us now. Sorry about that. I didn't know that he was there. Yes, but I heard him fidgeting about, so that attracted my attention. So let's go straight to Mr. COP and bring him on, because I think it's important that we extrapolate and look at some of the current issues. But I want to focus on the Balize House tonight, you know. I want to, because we have been saying that for some time. And I want to make certain that we manifest that 150%, if not more than that. Let's go straight to Mr. COP there. Put him there. Just a minute. He's not yet visible to you. We have to do one or two other things. You have to do one or two other things. So just bear with me, people. Just bear with me. Right. And then, one more thing to do, right? And then, of course, we will bring him into the glare of the program. Let me just make sure that we have some other things that we need to do. Right. I think we have it now. And then I will introduce him afterwards. All right. So let me just make certain. Do you do this? Right. Okay. All right. Let me just bring him in now. Yes, of course. A pleasant good night. Yes, Mr. COP, my colleague. Quite a number of issues taking place. Caller just now, very early, showed where, and my position is that if the PNM would have been in office now, we would have been catching our Aunt Nenen and everything else, even though, of course, they are glad that they are out of office so that they could try to absolve themselves to get back into office, only to continue, of course, the nefarious, corrupt, and evil ways. Because let's face it, the Americans would not have been dealing with the PNM if they were in office. That's a pellucid fact. And therefore, the $2 billion or so US that is supposed to be investment would not have been. The conclusion of the Dragon deal and other cross-border gas and oil initiatives would not have been. It's not waste time. It's Rowley and they who put salt, sand, and all kinds of shrapnel in Trinidad and Tobago's rice when they were in office, because he was strident that he wanted to deal with Maduro. So even if Maduro was gotten rid of, as the Americans did, and PNM was in office, they would have been still saying, release Maduro. They would have been rooting for Maduro. And the results of that would have been detrimental to Trinidad and Tobago, as we saw when they were in office. They did nothing to advance the foreign and what I consider to be hemispheric agenda and foreign policy of Trinidad and Tobago in Trinidad and Tobago's interest. But I want to hear from you, my friend, having laid the foundation. A pleasant good night to you. You were conspicuously missed, I think, on the last occasion.
Good night to you, Teacher Lennox, and good night to all the listeners and viewers of the Corridor Transformation. Good night, and welcome. Nadia, good night to you, and Jay Howlett, good night to you, and Speedy Gonzalez, good night to you, and Terry Lal Bihari, good night to you, and good night to everyone on the chat, and then good night. Teacher Lennox, I like the topic that you want to get in tonight with the Balize House, because it have no political party in the Western Hemisphere spend that type of money to build a political office. None. I don't even believe it had European countries spend that kind of money to build a political office. And we must know which part that money coming out from. I give the commissioner of police 10 out of 10. And what will make me have more confidence in them is to make sure that investigation finish speedy to know where they're getting that money. Where they get that money. Barbecue can't do that. Raffle can't do that. If I sell barbecue ticket for 20 years, we find that kind of money. If every citizen of this country buy 2 barbecue tickets from the PNM, they still can't raise that kind of money to build that building over there. I want to hear that investigation take place, and people must get locked up because it had contractors struck casting foundation and that in that thing, and plus they was getting benefits of government contracts too.
And yet still, Rowley and they were saying that not a contractor engaged by the then government did
And
anything
everyone-
on that Balize monstrosity, that blood money, blood lettered and blood red that they painted in, or they would have painted it in. But of course, we have evidence to the contrary. Go ahead.
And every one of those contractors and that we see casting that foundation, the contract that they was doing for government, it had cost overrun by millions and millions of dollars. It had cost overrun. As a taxpayer, I will ask myself if those cost overrun was willfully, because it is a strategy to build Balize House. I don't know why I'm asking questions.
But I don't think you should ask questions. I think the evidence is there, and tonight, of course, we will present it lucidly. We will present it transparently. We will present it without fear of contradiction, and most importantly, do so that you could be convinced that there was and still is questions to be answered even then. And let's go to the line. President, good night. Welcome to the corridor.
A pleasant good night to you, Uncle Lennox,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
COP, and all the listeners. Share the live. Let them know that Uncle Lennox is live. And 2 years ago, on this day, Uncle Lennox did tell the PNM, what's this truck? All you know this truck? Is it resemble this concrete truck pumping concrete on the 3rd floor? He asked them, all you know that truck? He asked the callers and all the listeners if all you know that truck. But me are going there tonight, Uncle Lennox. All I ask that I know Chris John Hines is the best seller of lottery car raffle ticket. He started by all and grocery. He went by all and grocery and sell raffle ticket in the blazing hot sun. And the nice thing about it, that when Rowley want to play smart with foolishness, I will ask some question tonight for the 2 hours. And Mr. COP, next time you say good night to people, and you tell me good night, I will tell Uncle Lennox, switch off that your face, eh? Yeah. I the main director. You're supposed to tell me after Uncle Lennox and all your followers. You had to tell me last good night, eh? But Uncle Lennox, I want to ask that fella behind you, through you.
Go ahead.
Right? They billing, but you see, the question was to ask that when Rowley take over the PNM, there was $7 million in debt. $7 million in debt, you know, the owing people, accreditors are all who they had to owe, right? Then I want to ask now, a party was in debt and they're bankrupt. They come and they build 2 buildings, not one, 2. They bring down the old one, build it big. No PNM supporters could go in that year at all because they're mounted with all the dead people from Nigeria. Then The second one, the ask Archbishop, a Catholic Archbishop, to sell piece of the Catholic board land so they could put the building in it. Right? Near going there tonight, you know. I just asking question. But I want to know the heights of a repo that they give a good friend of their own, a contractor, right? To take the breeding farm, which we supposed to get good quality meat. How much we getting out of that farm, the breeding unit, on the heights of our repo right there, near the detention center. But all I see now is a piece of hill in the back. Just disappearing. If I watch good, I might see Venezuela. And you know, you didn't ask the question, and you tell Rowley and them, keep all your books and make sure they receipt. Because as soon as all the debate office, we will be asking all the question to show me how all the funding that project. So that's reminding them, and I'm asking you. And so they can't say, I say. But you know what is the nice thing about it? The procurement of office, say $5 billion TT is questionable in contract that didn't pass through her office and it's questionable. Then you're seeing SRP Camille, right, in the Ministry of AGC. How much contract? A wife and a daughter. $500 million in contract going that direction. Then you see the chairman who say, right, the Mava, he had a project, a wastewater project start at 3 million and ended up over 30-something million. I just asked it, because when they come and they're talking, we campaign and ask on this program that blue lights and saber bracelet, await them if they can answer. We see where there was given away state asset to friends, financiers, and well-wishers at peppercorn rate. And we tell them, make sure they do it above board and not underneath the board. We see through the state board on them where they do the mischief and fund other people and misappropriate our public funds. So now, this is what's going on here. I want who listen to remind them, sycophants of them, that this program, the Grong Report, if they remember the word, the taxing, piping, lying, thieving party. Yeah? If they remember that verse on them. So the question is asked now by the right authority and Uncle Lennox. You see why it is weak penny backers would never support any crime fighting bills or any bills for financial institution, to strengthen the financial institution to explain the what? You see why now? So that's actually a question. So Uncle Lennox, before I take up your airtime, I'll call back if there's anything.
Okay.
So the question is to ask and continue. Then we hear what they have to say.
I hear you, my friend. I hear you, my friend. Thank you very much. And you know, I'm always amazed and pleasantly what I consider to be appreciative of the level of knowledge of callers. And that augurs well for the society, because information that is valid, information that is vital, information that is critical, information that cannot be challenged in a democracy about, of course, the management in particular of the society, persons being given the opportunity by way of an electoral process subjected to the Constitution and, of course, in this case, the representation of the people's, through the Representation of the People's Act and the role of the EBC, I think is very, very important. And we have to give ourselves a round of applause for that. But before I go further, let me just formally say a pleasant good night to all and sundry. I was waiting on Mr. COP. He has been so elusive these days. And now that we have him here, and I know that he can't move, or you'll have difficulty in moving, let me say a pleasant good night to all and sundry, east, west, north, south, central, in Trinidad, or friends in Tobago, and wherever you are, streaming on the World Wide Web, pleasant good day to you. On the ground report, and here
Lennox, I'm not here the callers, huh?
You're not here to call us?
Last caller I was here, no.
All right, good. It means, therefore, there is something that has to be done there. At least we have some tweaking. At least we hearing each other. All right, so I don't want to interfere with anything. We'll have to work it out that way. So I will,
right.
I will, as best as I can, I will summarize so that you have an appreciation as to what would have been said. The last caller, of course, talked about the conspirators nature of the PNM, the corruption and the nepotism that is consistent with them. That's basically what he said. All right, let's go to this one. A pleasant good night. Welcome.
Hello, good night, Mr. Lennox and Sophie.
Yes, welcome.
Your co-host is not here in the work.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Just that time, man.
Yeah, working on it. Go ahead. Yes.
So, Lennox, that building in the back here, that's soup kitchen?
We want to turn it into that soup kitchen, but that is Bali's house.
And all the homeless and them on the streets, so all the money was going there. All the concrete and them was going there and building Bali's house.
Yes.
And the people in the West corridor was scraping and begging.
Yeah.
But Lennox,
Yeah.
you know I that man, I shoot it from the hip come down, because I talking for the downtrodden, the poor and the needy.
Yeah, I know that.
I get an opportunity. I thankful for the opportunities, with the man who seek the opportunity and give me Lennox. Right now there's thing over behind. And I find the puppy showing the podium and apology and he need it. Right now it's 6 fortnight now in Lennox. And
right.
Nobody in coming down and talking about the workers them who not getting pay. I see put the 10 triple on top of my head. Well, this morning, yesterday, they sent out a bulletin with all the workers and them. Don't come out to work. We are going to have a meeting with those who in charge, the coordinators and them. Put on the call of the meeting. They bring out all the teams in one place. We went out there in rain, snow, all kind of things. Do the job. No meeting. So nobody come to talk to me and let me know when we get in pay, when we on the payroll. But the man who gave me the opportunity, tell everybody, thinking for it is unfair, because people can't be working at farm to see about school clothes. People are liable to this to pay, and nobody not talking about that. Because if they talk about that, they go say the rebel fellas that they talking the government bad. But I support the government. I talking because it is not me alone crying out. Other people crying out to single mothers, single fathers, and that's over behind by Lennox by is a serious thing. So Lennox, that ain't looking too good. But Lennox, one more thing.
Go ahead.
You tell them ground reporter again, eh?
Why you say that?
Is, eh?
Why you say that?
They move all the logo. I see them move all the logo.
Yeah.
91.9 Talk City.
You know, there's a saying, who pays the piper calls the tune. Says a situation like that.
I ain't like how they treat all them, man. All they should have been on their own side, how the network running, getting all their funding, getting all their sponsors, getting government ad. Because I was just getting government ad, and you cannot fight all they put.
All right. Well, I want to tell you, COP, that's for you as well. He just was claiming that he didn't get any pay for some 5 fortnights that he would have worked in the that cleanup campaign program that was initiated by the present government. Did you hear anything at all from him? Because I was trying to tweak whilst we were talking. You heard anything from him? COP? Yeah, any part of his contribution? COP?
Yeah.
You got any part of his contribution?
Yeah, I multitasking with you over here.
I don't know. You got got any part of it? You heard any part of his contribution?
No.
No, right, okay. So it means I'll be doing something wrong here. All right, let's
No.
continue then. All right. He said basically that he didn't get paid for
I
5
get
4
it over here, but I get it over here.
Oh, you get on the on the system, right? On YouTube.
On my phone.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, no problem. We'll see what we can do. But I'm sure people would have heard him speak. I hopefully.
Yes, everybody.
You're hearing that, right? Okay, right, great. All right, well, that is the most important thing. But I was making the point that there's a standard joke on the ground report and on the corridor transformation, with respect to the monies that Rowley and they claim that they were legally and truthfully and honestly acquired. And we used to say, well, listen, for you to get that kind of money in that space of time, you had to close down the National Lottery Board for a couple months before, in order for you to get that kind of money, because that kind of money you're talking about is what the Lottery Board would be associated with in terms of collection for their contribution or their support for these various games that the National Lottery Board had. That's the standard. That was the standard mockery that we used to project at the PNM. How the hell you go get $100 million in 9 years after you said that you started off by saying that the PNM was in political and financial shambles? That's what you said, Rowley. How the hell today you could talk about you lawfully do what? What is lawful about that? You better stay in the country. Stay in the country, Rowley. All right? The courts have given the police the authority to investigate, having regard to the questions that are yet to be answered as to how Balize House money was acquired. And it can't be no bingo and no raffle and all that. And I hear today that the cars and them that they say they raffle, I understand that is twatties, big twatties in the PNM, get them cars and them. So I don't know how they're so lucky. They're triply lucky to get, of course, $100 million just so. And stupidly Hines going up as part of that front. It is said that when people want to launder money and so on, they have a fake company. They have a company that is just on paper, and they funneling money through it. Well, I see that scenario. I equate that scenario with what Hines and Rowley and they tried to, of course, project on us. In fact, Rowley was so bold-faced and so arrogant and so contemptuous. He said, "Boy, Hines is a great salesman. If I had my way, I would have made him a salesman." But he couldn't deal with crime. He couldn't deal with his constituents. They run him out with dirty water, etc. But he is a great salesman. But according to Rowley, because all of that was part of the narrative and the conspiracy in order to clearly deprive taxpayers and poor people of their just due and their hard-earned dollars and put it on that monstrosity called the PNM. I don't know if you want any comment before I play the video behind us.
They take a Rastaman, Lennox Smith.
Yeah.
They take a Rastaman and put him to sell barbecue chicken and pork ribs. Rastaman.
Yeah.
And that is the oldest Rastaman in the Western Hemisphere. Sell $100 million in barbecue.
Yeah.
No other Rastaman.
And the only person know that in the PNM is Rowley.
Skin Rowley.
Yeah,
and I want to link this Balize House.
Good.
So in case them PNM ministers are telling themselves we bias. The same way how they find it's not 100 million, it's more than 100 million. It's coming up to almost $1 billion. They spend behind that Balize House. All have had a constitutional responsibility to enhance all your community, build the schools and playing facilities, community centers, and create opportunity Only deny that. Only deny the constitutional responsibility only had and focus on Balize House. Where
Self-serving.
all the supporters come in to ask for help. Only supposed to fix their community.
I'll never tell you this, what is most despicable. And I want desperados to listen to this. Whilst they were excavating the basement for Balize House, where the car park would have been, and where they would have their Christmas and Carnival fete, where that monstrosity is now incomplete. While they were excavating, they took the earth from there and put it where they kept desperados temporarily. And we asked the question, when whatever they were going to build there on Tragridge Road, where desperados was, whether they, the PNM, will pay for the excavation that obviously will take place there, and therefore getting rid of that earth. And that is the level of audaciousness, and the level of contempt, and the level of abuse, and the level of misuse, and the level of cronyism, and manipulation of the resources of the country when the PNM is. That is a classic case. Because let me tell you this. Not only did they move desperados from there, and I had preferred why they did it. They did that because desperados was too close to Balize House. They don't want those individuals to come up Balize House and beg for $1, etc., etc.
Them sort of poor black people.
Yeah. They don't want that close to them at all. So Rowley take them and put them on Nelson Street and had the audacity pay something like $13 million or thereabout, 17 million in fact, to construct that thing not too far from here, just down the streets here. And telling us and telling desperados, and that is where I parted with desperados, because I thought the leadership at least should write a very, very nice letter to Rowley, telling him where to get off, if not, how we mother make him. Yeah, because here it is. He tell the people and them, why is he cutting the ribbon for that place? Now listen, when tourists come, they will drive around the savannah, see the Magnificent Seven, including his project, his pet project, his vanity project. I'm talking about Whitehall.
Whitehall.
Yeah, listen, the handles to the doors is gold, golden handles, Yeah, golden handles. But anyhow, and even though he Rowley was opposed to wasting current, because when he go in and play golf, he said that the school in Marval, all the lights on, and he was appalled. They don't understand the value of saving energy. But when the Whitehall was constructed and completed, the lights on whole day, I could tell you because I passed it deliberately to see and to show the level of hypocrisy of this man. Lights on whole, all the lights on, because he wanted to demonstrate the beauty of his pet project.
Legacy.
Yeah. And then, of course, he said that when the tourists come, they will view all those buildings and come around to President House, and then drive down Charlotte Street, and then into Piccadilly Street, and then into Nelson Street to watch desperados. Oh, God, Rowley. You're an evil man. And I said so then. And
how about tourists ever go there?
None. In fact,
how much of them that come from the boat?
People got robbed going there looking for that place. Yeah.
Them shippers and then those compounders, none of them walk in there.
Of course not. They can't, because they're governments. That's the point I'm making. They're governments, and Rowley, and they know that. Brown, why did you tell Rowley that? Amy Brown, Apron Brown, why did you tell Rowley that? They tell the advisors against Trinidad and Tobago to their tourists, potential tourists coming to Trinidad from the United States, from England, from Canada, from parts of Europe. Don't go Trinidad, but if you do not go down Nelson Street. And Rowley put desperados there.
Do not go in the PNM area, that's what I say.
Rowley put desperados there and tell them that tourists will come. And none of them stood up and say, Mr. Rowley, at least minimum, your mama gainui. If you ain't want to use any obscene language, at least you could say that. Insulting our intelligence, insulting our community, insulting the steel band movement, arguably the best steel band in the world, and you put them on Nelson Street. So I have no qualms, and I have no residual or otherwise any sympathy for the PNM when that monstrosity called Balize House and the evidence about how it was constructed come to the fore, and some of them in blue lights and silver braces. Go ahead.
Lennox, they take away the land from them up by Mokoya up there, and they give them a building
on Rice Road.
Yeah,
on
Rice
Road,
Road.
Yes.
Up to now, with that land want to lose, they where Trinbago. What assets they have now? Because they don't have the building in Rice Road, no renovation, nothing there. They give up the land where they had opportunity.
Well, it would take a UNC government, of course, I'm sure, to give them back the land and to settle things. But those within the Pan fraternity who made that decision to the detriment of the, I hope they know what to do, because just as are national elections, there are internal elections in Pan Trinbago as well. And I expect that they will do what is required because of the pernicious and the evil and the ill will and the ills.
And all the land,
yeah,
all
the
the land and property that they take away from Pan, they benefit and they benefit and
yeah.
the PNM benefit and
yeah. Because remember,
what is the people supposed to benefit?
Yeah, it was supposed to go to Jindal, the questionable Indian investor that ended up, of course, in the White House or in the White Hall with Rowley shaking hands after the bidding for the oil refinery was closed, and then tell us that they're considering looking at the oil refinery after the bidding was closed. That is the level of what I consider to be mafiaism that characterized the PNM during that 9 years of sufferation and evil and abuse and exploitation.
That is the Costa Nostra
Yes,
leadership.
yeah. Mafia.
Costa Nostra leadership.
All right, let's hear what this video says, because I want to tell them, in those days when this was made, this is not a now-made video, but we were saying what sweetened goat mouth is sour in the bam bam. When it's coming back to all, the manifestation is there. It was a prophecy then. It is now a manifestation. Listen to this.
I hear you telling CNC trainer, they hear worried. CNC asked him a question. If he worried, he said no, he ain't worried. He better be worried.
No, well, that is part of the theatrics. They always do that. Pretend they're not worried, and when the time comes, they ball like 10,000 or 10 cows.
Play the clip.
Like prophets of old, to cool the strong, keep it more control. Me I get no vision and thing, neither no big message to bring. All they tell me, hey man, as a Kaiseronian, go and sing this song through the land. Keep singing every day, remember, mommy said. But if you fly high, same thing does make you cry. Little bit of treasure, little bit of pleasure. All right. Keep singing every day, remember, mommy said.
Yes, indeed. Was sweet and goat mouth, so many bam bam. And this was played when that building was being constructed. I was responsible for monitoring all the goings on. And here today, but sweet and goat mouth, so many bam bam. So now they're defending, and just now you go hear them squealing on each other and implicating each other as the investigation intensifies. And that is what I expect, because no way they could account for $100 million and that monstrosity of steel cement, brick, mortar, iron, electrical fittings, etc.
That's the thing coming out of the goat bam bam there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What's with the goat mouth, so any bam bam. That's what we did. Yeah, to make a mockery of these nincompoops and these evil, wicked con men and con women. Yeah, what's with the goat mouth, so any bam bam. Yes, yeah, them take that. And you sycophants or listen to belly. You may not participate. You may not have participated both in the decision making to construct that or to steal public funds, but also you may not be the beneficiary of even entering that building. Those who would have made those decisions and were at the upper echelons of the decision making processes of the PNM must pay the price, not you. Because we want you to come across to the UNC and the coalition of interest. There's room there for you. Do not for one moment believe that these people have your interests at heart. Yes, listen to it again. Go sweet a goat mouth sour in the bam bam. Yes.
Down like prophets of old, to cool this tongue, keep it more control.
All of them.
Neither no big message to bring. All they tell me, England, advertise Sonian, go and sing this song through the land. Keep singing every day, remember, Mommy said, but if you fly high, same thing does make you cry.
Boy,
Little bit of pleasure.
we have to pause for a cause. Call is coming in. Yes, indeed. Yes, President, good night. Welcome.
Pleasant good night to you again, Uncle Lennox.
Yes, man.
And the alien on the side here. I only see you try to connect with him and he started a song like a real alien. But anyway, you put the dog in Valize house. He might be the lucky one to get us way there.
I hear you.
So, but Uncle Lennox,
Yeah.
I want to ask you, right? You remember Ines Gate?
Yes, of course. We were in
Right.
Tobago.
When
We were in
it-
Tobago looking for Rowley during the election. Yes.
When you and Andy and Bill was walking all over.
He and his daughter. Yes, his daughter who had one of the townhouses there, along with, of course, the former governor of the central bank and others.
Yeah, and the partner from Paria who
Yes.
did human service
Human, yes.
for stipend.
Yes,
Human
yes.
judge. Yeah.
Yes,
While his
yes.
wife giving way and shutting up the opposition in
That's
the
right.
parliament to have the
That's
way.
right. That's right.
Yeah. So what I'm asking you, right? You remember when Rowley buy two apartments, right? Two separate.
Yeah.
One-
One for himself and one for his daughter.
And you know he did get a big discount. He should.
And he got a big discount. Not that he sure. He got a big discount. I gave some cock and bull story when the matter came up with respect to his integrity in public life forms and the consequential investigation. But go ahead.
Right. So you're following exactly. So when he buy it, the integrity in public life form, it could have show up. The price he paid was higher, but he paid a lower price. But the evidence was there in the integrity form that he paid for it. Eh?
Yes. Yeah.
But how it is now? Right? But how it is now? He as the leader of the PNM have owing a debt, building over a building, and he had a receipt to show where he spent all that money, and he had because the executive changed, and the treasurer, they can't find the treasurer. He's sleeping somewhere. I wonder. No, because it's here they want to pay smart with foolishness.
Yeah.
So you talk about Jindal. You know Jindal have a scientist talking a heap of stupidness on mainstream media.
Yeah.
The PNM tree. But anyway, continue with the program. We will stay from the facts. But I want to know if the change the color them truck and them that was pumping concrete. But you don't want to ask you,
Yeah, go ahead.
who is the contractor from Gulf City to where the mosquito crack start, right? Who did pump? Who do that work? And at the same time, when they was pumping concrete down that long wall, I see the program. You were showing a concrete truck, a similar color, right?
Yeah.
So they don't know the senior one or the junior one was up there, and the next, the minority one was down here. Pumping concrete.
We when we have with facts is the only thing that could neutralize any defamation attempt through the courts. And the fact is that Jusamco was pouring concrete on the basement of Balize House, and that's the same company that was given the contract as part and parcel of the highway to Point Fortin, and that part of the highway collapsed into the swamp below and is now given the pseudonym, the Mosquito Crack. Jusamco, a subsidiary of Junior Sammy. I say so without fear of contradiction. Facts are stubborn things to dissipate and to get rid of. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the nice thing about it, why it is now that the element is threatening the commissioner of police to intimidate. Why it is that threat is coming out? You're hearing every day different threat coming out, and accusation of threats are being made to head of government. And you see when Penny fight down all the bills to stand up to fight corruption, she never stand up for it. And you see why Rowley had to jump out with the fast self now to do what Penny's supposed to do, because she weak. They get to realize that they get eat up according to the law. And good night, I'll listen. I'll fall back again.
Yes, man. Yes, indeed. Yes, people. We afraid. The fact is that is what transpired. I remember very distinctly when we
top five.
When we said on the ground report that Delcy Rodriguez appeared to be associated, or put another way, Rowley and Stuart Young associated with Delcy Rodriguez, because she, on a whole continent called Europe, she was bad because of drug-related matters. And we said that birds of feather flock together, and therefore one has to assume that Rowley and Stuart Young, having of course opened up during COVID, whilst our own citizens couldn't come in, open up for Delcy, what transpired at the Diplomatic Center and or the Whitehall. And we said in non-certain terms, it appears that they are engaged in racketeering. And Stuart Young sent us a 3-page pre-action protocol letter. Well, we sent back, of course, one almost 50 pages long in response to his pre-action protocol letter. We never heard from him again. A bloody set of cowards, and want to play that they could manage Trinidad and Tobago, making it, of course, a kleptocracy. It's a kleptocracy, bunch of government by thieves. Kleptocracy, that is what they did. That is what they did. So
and when the sanction plane, that hide and bring Delcy over here, Stuart Young say, we don't know what plane it is over here. We don't keep track of what plane coming in the country.
Suddenly, and when we asked them who picked them up, because after that we sent a freedom of information request to the PS there, who was obligated to tell us the truth. The PS say that they don't know who picked them up at the airport.
Yeah, they
don't know if they were talking Spanish, because Shortong obviously can't speak Spanish. So who was the interpreter? All of that we asked. And there was deafening silence. I have the documents here, don't get me vexed before I pull it and I show all it, because the time has reached where the manifestation of that vision that was obvious then But the PNM, because in government, we try to, of course, obfuscate and try to hoodwink and try to deceive. Now they have no defense. No defense whatsoever. But to take what they get. Let's go to the line. And find a way to get you to hear, boy. A pleasant good night. Welcome.
Yeah, doctor, good night.
Good night, my friend.
Good night, Trinidad.
And good night to all the two viewers.
Doctor, so the Balize house, right? Rowley and them in have the bills and things to prove whether getting
it's obvious they don't have it. They don't have it. They don't have it. So what they're going to say is a private thing and all of that and so on and so on. But they were in government and they have to find ways and means because there's a police investigation saying it's corruption and that follow the money rules that they have implemented. The police, that is, you have to, of course, prove that that was not the proceeds of criminal acts, money laundering, etc. Right. That is where that investigation is going. That is where it is going. Prove that it is not money laundered money.
Right. So they have the proof to say where they're getting money from, right? They not the bills where they're getting money from where.
That's right.
Now, in law, them supposed to have that.
Yes, they're supposed to say where the money come from.
Right, and they're supposed to have proof.
That's right.
All the bills, right?
Yeah.
So now he have us saying ignorance to the law is no excuse.
That's right.
So if them and have the bills to prove where they're getting money from, right? Mm-hmm. And right, to clear themselves, then we don't want to hear nothing about the this and that, right? Ignorance to the law, right? You're still guilty.
That's right. There's no excuse. No excuse. No excuse. Yeah.
Right. I want to say ignorance to the law is no excuse. So that means there's no excuse. Present the proof.
All we want is the proof. Where you get the money from? Where is the paper trail? Follow the money. Yes, that's all we want. All right?
Anytime they can. Right.
That's it. Yeah. Somebody must be held culpable. The executive, the entire executive of the PNM then must be taken to task criminally. Criminally, yes. All right. Thank you very much, my friend.
All right, my brother.
Yes, man. Yes.
They say wrongly don't want them to expose the barbecue armor. The barbecue receipts on them. They say, if it's one thing, don't show that barbecue receipt on them.
I remember, but let's bring it more close to what really transpired because you'll get it from Rowley Mout himself. Listen to this.
You PNM members, many of you dipped your hands in your pocket over the last 13 years. 13 years we have been raising the necessary funds to make sure that our party builds a modern headquarters on lands that our party obtained way back in the last century. As your political leader, alongside my colleagues, we work very hard and we work very lawfully and we built up the resources, and today your party is close to completing the construction of a brand new multi-story building at Balize House, built after 13 years of toil. And we are renovating the old building at the same time. You would think that anybody who is decent will say to a 68-year-old party, well done, because you believe in this country's future. But no, they are themselves this year, then somebody else the next year, they do a bad the next year. They know that one day soon, we will all gather in Tranquility Street, and you would look in pride and look satisfaction at the building we have built. And on that day, when a new party headquarters is open, it will be a plus for the party, it will be a plus for the country. So in order to know, all of a sudden, without one shred of evidence that they could present to anybody, they start a narrative that contractors and government projects building Balizé House. Could you believe that? And that is meant to tarnish.
Let's pause there. Look at that truck there. Look at that blasted truck there. Jusamco. Notice not a steel beam is up in the air as yet. So that's the foundation we're talking about. But he has the audacity to try to insult our intelligence. I'm talking about Rowley here.
I used to see them same truck on the Moxie bus.
Yeah, same trucks. But let's go to the line. Professor, good night. Welcome.
Hello, good night, Mr. CP and Lennox Smith.
Yes, man.
He's Southwestern. He deserves our award. He's a real fighter. But members of the PNM contribute to build Balizé House. I wonder if Washington was a part of that, because he's a lifetime member, you know.
I hear you, my friend. I hear you. Yes, I hear you, my friend. Yeah, people. Look at that vehicle there.
Yes, that was part of that.
And watch me. That photo you're seeing there was part of a half-page advertisement in one of the dailies, saying, in essence, they were proud to be part and parcel of it. Yet still Rowley says that not a single contractor that the government employed to do work on behalf of the people of Trinidad and Tobago worked on that Balizé House. I want you to notice not one vertical beam is on that building as yet. Not one vertical beam. So what it tells you, concrete was being poured on the foundation. So if a contractor was working on the foundation, I could imagine how much of them work on the superstructure. And let me tell you this. The company that got the multi-million-dollar contract to construct those apartment buildings where citrus growers was located just before the flyover coming into Port of Spain, I want to tell you that that is the company that was on that compound supervising or engaging in the construction of Balizé House. And let me go further. Balizé, that part of the construction and the land is fenced, and there's a fence between that piece of land and Tranquility Government Secondary School. So slow I'm talking. Between Balizé car park, where that monstrosity was being constructed, and Tranquility Government Secondary School. And guess what? These vipers, these evildoers, these wicked, exploitative, political and financial predators, they move the fence and commandeer part of the school land in order to accommodate the offices of that company that eventually got that contract to construct, maybe as an award, obviously, or a reward, on the lands that citrus growers formerly occupied. How I know that? Well, let me tell you how we know. The teachers called us. I said the teachers from Tranquility Government Secondary School called us and said the PNM Balizé House is depriving us, quite apart from the noise, of part of our building where we prepare lessons for our students, and that they have encroached, they have commandeered, they have shift back the fence and put their offices on the school's premises, land on the northern side. Understand that?
Talk, Lennox, talk.
Yes, man. And then what we did, we sent it through the Ministry of Education and the permanent secretary, who is the officer responsible to deal with freedom of information, material, and requests, as to who gave authority or whether the ministry gave authority to Balize House or the PNM to shift back and commandeer or thief or take piece of the school land for their construction. And don't get me vexed before I pull that letter too, you know, because I have it. And the permanent secretary sat back and say, they don't know. They don't know. And they're investigating. They don't know, they're investigating. And they sent to the principal. We also learned in the process that the principal was an active member, sympathizer of the PNM. So they utilized state resources. I just told you about the earth that was excavated, that was sent on a piece of land. And let me tell you this. That piece of land where Despers was, and they moved Despers from Tragwit Road. But the land is still there, the land can't move. Well, they started the construction under the PNM, of course, for this central office of the Ministry of Social Development. If you go there now, you will see it either stalled or is in the process of a very limping along in terms of the construction. So what has happened to the earth that Balize and PNM put there? And I'm sure that in that building they would have underground car park, because there is no major parking outside on the roadway. So they had to have underground car parks. It means therefore that Balize House and the PNM got their earth disposed of with state funds, because if they did dump it there, the money that they would have used, the contractor would have used, would have had to move out all the dirt there in order to develop or establish a car park underground, because that earth was deposited, of course, on the surface of what was there. If you had to dig further down, that all that is removed. So Balize House got, by that scheme, got the earth that they excavated for that monstrosity at Balize House, where Jusamco was pouring concrete. They got it done courtesy the state, you and I. Go ahead, my friend.
That same truck, that same name of that company, the PNM classified them as a construction mafia that was taking place. And the company that was bidding in construction mafia, they hired that company to build Balize House.
Yes, indeed. Well,
and that is the company that make billions of dollars in this country. And we must accept that.
All of that ought to be part of the conversation and the investigation. And I'm sure that certain investigators are watching the corridor tonight, and they will ask us for a copy of that, I'm sure, or where we got it from. I will be only obliged to tell them, to give them both the freedom of information, as well as a copy of that particular video. Pleasant good night. Welcome. Welcome. Are you hearing me? We lost that one?
Yeah, and I'm here when you call ringing, and I'm here.
All right, okay, all right. We'll have to fix that. Yeah, I'll fix it. I don't want to interfere with it. But go ahead, go ahead, my friend.
Yeah.
Go ahead, my friend.
We must understand we must understand, I hear you say something earlier on, that we must support the youths and them in them communities and them, because what the PNM did, the PNM mislead the grandmother, the grandfather, the mother, the father, because earlier on this year we really depended on the young one to come across with the collision of interest. And I want to make them things my agenda and programs like this. Ask the young people in the PNM areas and them to come across to the collision of interest. It makes no sense. It makes no sense supporting the party that your grandmother support and the party fail her. Your grandfather support that party, they disrespect him. Your mother, 5 generations of your family, young people and young girls in the PNM community, the PNM disrespect them, abuse them, and leave them with nothing. It is time for you all to stop looking at race. Stop looking at tribal thinking, because that is what the grandmothers and grandfathers put in all your head. Turn away from tribal thinkers and come across to the coalition of interest. Unite in one. Anytime you unite in one, you will see our country developing. Watch every development that this coalition of interest, Lennox Smith, started and almost completed in a year and something. We getting a kickback on them projects and them. Why? Why does the PNM then try to hold back Balize House? The Kuva Hospital, they're trying to hold back that. The Debe campus, which part the future of this country can go and educate themselves, they're trying to hold back that. That construction site next to South Park, what the houses, what they're developing, they're delaying these things. And many other projects that they're delaying. Look, the mosquito crack. That same company mash up that road. That road going open. They don't paving that with under Jolene Journal. That road almost complete. You're not seeing no sink on them over there, but they're trying to delay. Young people of all the PNM constituency, where your mother and father say, oh, we's PNM until we dead. Watch them and say, no, mommy. Many of your grandmothers and grandfathers die with nothing under the PNM. Turn away from that arrogant way of thinking and that tribal way of thinking, and broaden your horizon and watch development. How it is the PNM can help the UNC? Ask yourself them question. How the PNM help UNC constituency develop? And ask them why they never develop the East-West Corridor, Laventille and your constituency. Because they keep in a dependent frame of mind. They depend on them alone to fill up the prison with you all. That's what they do. Stop that, young people. Come across to the coalition of interest. Watch in 9 years' time, watch what them build for the PNM. And watch the destruction that they leave in your community, young people. Young people of the PNM constituency. Watch what they build for the self, for the friend, the family, and finances in 9 years' time. And see what they build for you, for the future of your community. See what you get. See if you get development. They had a responsibility to develop your community. To develop your community. To give you opportunity. Not to build Balize House. Lennox Smith.
Yes, indeed, my friend. Yes, indeed. And just in case you want to say, by some stretch of some, what I consider be amorphous imagination, just in case, people, even as opposition, they are hindering the progress of the East-West Corridor. And those who they claim they love and want to represent, as they find themselves, let's say, from the cloak or in the cloak of the CPEP-URP scenario. What, $4-point-something billion in projects to be launched through the HDC. They go on to the procurement regulator just to generate mischief.
They're
So
going to the
as
PNM
to
party
prevent you from getting at least the opportunity to choose jobs. Because once that money begins to circulate representing jobs, it means therefore you could go and choose which job to go to, because jobs will be endlessly manifested. Jobs all over the place. You could go anywhere and get a job. As Jolene John would say, the Minister of Works. Just now you will see the skyline with only cranes. Cranes.
Even the revitalization project, they're trying to hold
Only
back
cranes.
that development.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For mischief purposes, because they don't want you to benefit, even in opposition, because they have the opportunity to say, to raise queries, to say we are suspicious about this and that, and so the labor. Let me tell you this. There's a saying, what a meet you impasse you. And there's also another saying, that those who cry wolf, those who continue to say them people would do harm, etc. That's the crying wolf I'm talking about. The day will come when all of that will dissipate, all of that will no longer be. And because the UNC coalition is in government, they will get their way. And you will get your jobs that you rightly deserve. But you must remember, it was the PNM that tried to emasculate, to try to take it away from you. That I ask of you to think about. That's all. That's all. Well, let's continue, of course, with this video. So you see that there is a vehicle outside Balize House, Tranquility Street, as Rowley talked about. And here it is, point concrete. On the foundation, there is no steel up as yet. And the other building, not yet renovated, not yet touched. They end up building 2 buildings at the same time. Renovate that old one you see in the back there, and then, of course, the one where the concrete is now being poured. That was the beginning. Today, of course, it is a lasting memory.
No, I remember they make extra money when they sell the steak, so that also go with $2 billion. Extra money to make sell the steak.
A symbol of corruption, a symbol of nepotism, a symbol of mismanagement, a symbol of total and absolute conmanship, mafia style.
The effort that you have made for the last 13 years, I want to ask Rodney Charles today, who called him an independent political leader, to make public the names of all the contributors. What I want to do is for me to tell them, you give 1,000, so they can harass your daughter as she's working. You give $1 million, they can harass your company. I will tell them today, I have no account to give to Rodney Charles and the UNC, and the PNM will build its headquarters. And if they know that we have done something wrong, the nearest police station, the Balize House, is police headquarters.
Well, police is here now. Since them gun talk, grandstanding, that's all grandstanding, you know. That's if these fellas didn't have politics to be a career, I don't think they would be a good one anyway. But they would have to go to Bollywood or Hollywood.
But I agree with Rowley there, you know. I agree with Rowley. Who the hell is Rodney Charles for me to account to you? Well, Rowley, you'll answer to the police now.
That's
you
right.
will account to the police.
Silver bracelets and blue lights. Silver bracelets and blue lights.
Yeah.
So, sycophants, get off.
You know what I account to Rodney Charles?
No.
But that commissioner of police, you have to account.
Yeah, we follow the money.
With that, and if you don't want to go with that, then you go put it where the monkey put it up. Could you imagine? I must tell them, all the party members who contributed to the building of Balize House. You know we are the only party. 1, 2, 3. Every month, I'm in the mayor stand over there. He too. Every councillor, every mayor, every minister, everybody, every month you have to give, before you do anything else, give 5% of your salary to Balize House. That is a requirement in the PNM because we...
Yeah, so one can easily check. If every one of them give that, you could never meet $100 million. So let us waste time over the period that we're talking about. We know it's a blatant.
He said I have to give that to him. He said I have to give it to him.
Yeah, that's what he said. But
that man was really a bully, you know.
But I don't think it occurred. That's the point. It's part of his grandstanding and his phantasmagorical stories. Nothing different to the pieces of paper that he says emails. That's what that is about. He has this nag, this propensity, this proclivity, this tendency to manufacture phantasmagorical stories so that it sounds believable. Yeah, it is called, the term is specious. Sound good, but really and truly is shit you're talking. Yeah.
Specious.
yeah, specious, yes. But let's take another video.
I feel I had to use that word at the ground report.
And this perfect organization that I am now not carrying on.
This is it.
You know what my portion was? One of the first meetings I had was in a bank. Because a banker called me and told me, hey, your party owes this bank $4 million. And if it's not paid, we will have to, the only asset the party had was Balize House. So my first job as leader of the PNM was to save Balize House. The second thing, I think was only that, PTSC sending a bill for $800,000. You PNM members, whatever it's called, CNMG or what it's called, they had another bill to for hundreds of thousands. And we have staff to pay in Balize House. Now, you PNM members, many of you dipped your hands in your pocket over the last 13 years. 13 years we have been raising the necessary funds to work very lawfully, and we built up the resources, and today, and this perfect organization that I am now not carrying on. You know what my portion was? One of the first meetings I had was in a bank. Because a banker called me and told me, hey, your party owes this bank $4 million. And if it's not paid, we will have to, the only asset the party had was Balize House. So my first job as leader of the PNM was to save Balize House.
$5 billion owing when he became the leader of the party just before 2015. And the question is to people, you must ask, Eric William would have had that party since 1956. How come only in the 9 years preceding the 28th of April, they were able to accumulate 100 and something million? Because one can say, because they're so stupid, they talk, and talk themselves into jail. Because it means, therefore, Eric Williams would have left the party in what? In debt, in shambles, broken, because he said he got it in 2015 thereabout, owing $4 million. So it is clear, and it can be no 13 years that they were accumulating any money either. Listen to him.
They didn't pay off that $4 million by barbecue, eh? For Bali's to save Bali's house, eh?
But barbecue couldn't even pay that.
No,
Barbecue alone couldn't even pay that, but he inherited
they
that.
didn't sell barbecue ticket yet. They didn't sell barbecue ticket yet. They only sell barbecue when it was renovated.
That's right. Yes. So, and how it become 13 years? He was not leader of the party then.
That company pay off that bill.
So, Dr. Rowley, your asses are grasses, frankly. And that you really have no solid ground to stand up on. Best you just ask them for the handcuff and all you just go, as we told you all. Because we told you all that monstrosity will remain there as a symbol of corruption, nepotism, and how not to manage a country for personal and private aggrandizement and gains. Let me hear him again, people. Hear it again.
Talk, Lennox. Talk, Lennox.
That I am now not carrying on. You know what my portion was? One of the first meetings I had was in a bank. Because a banker called me and told me, hey, your party owes this bank $4 million. And if it's not paid, we will have to, the only asset the party had was Balize House. The first job as leader of the PNM was to save Balize House. One of the first meetings I had was in a bank. Because a banker called me and told me, hey, your party owes this bank $4 million. And if it's not paid, we will have to, the only asset the party had was Balize House. PTSC sending a bill for $800,000. TTT had whatever it's called, CNMG or what it's called, they had another bill for hundreds of thousands. And we have staff to pay in Balize House.
What more information they want than that? But it gets worse. Let's go further, man. We have it. Let the police call me, man. Call me police if you wish. You're going to get it, man. Yeah. We told them that blue lights and silver bracelets will be their portion. And they feel it's joke. These things can't lie. Can't lie. Cannot lie.
Balize House has fallen. The assertion made by opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar. During a press conference on Sunday, she said citizens are fed up of Dr. Rowley's lies, and this is a last-ditch attempt by the PNM to sway voters.
Citizens are fed up of Rowley's lies, make-believe, make-up, blame. That is how they got into government in 2015. They are an illegal government or illegitimate government, politically, holding on by their fingernails, hoping the same strategy to hoodwink the population will work again. A house built on lies will surely collapse.
That's right.
And that's what we are seeing today.
That's right.
She said the people...
That is Balize House, people. From foundation to wherever it reached now, because it can't finish. So they are in a country. I heard, of course, Mitchell, the former minister, I think, of tourism, and he had a stint in agriculture, culture as well. If you hear him, where the UNC got the money from to campaign, trying to deflect. And then, of course, trying to justify that somehow barbecue, curry crew, and as Andy would say, some other kind of queue build that monstrosity, that house of blood from blood money. That's not waste time. Talking to you, sycophants. I'm talking to you, Lavantillians. I'm talking to you, Bethamarians. I'm talking to you, Silat sons. I'm talking to you, Belmontarians. I'm talking to you, East Port of Spain. Come on. You have been hoodwinked for too long. You have been deceived for too long. You have been taken for a ride. And if they have the way, it will be in perpetuity. You must now decide. Local elections is coming up. Port of Spain is still in their hands. We have to eye our, or should I say target, our arrows at that institution and take it away once and for all.
And that is where you will see change, eh?
That's right.
And that is where the change, that is where the transparency will occur. Anytime that Port of Spain Corporation go to the hands of the collision of interest, never in the history that corporation gone under the UNC. Always, for 65 years and more, PNM. And all the destruction is the PNM Corporation could have eased the stress and the burden among those purchases and them. They deny you. They neglect you. The opportunity that they had to give you, they deny you that. It's time. It is time. You young boys and young girls that have good intentions and set goals in life, and your goals being, you're getting so much a problem for your goals to come true because you set goals. You had dreams. It is the PNM that take away all those dreams from you. They give you opportunity and do the work, do the blasted work, what they're supposed to be doing. Today your community will not be so. Lennox Smith, the past 25 years. The past 25 years. All the youths in Laventille. 25 years. All the youths in Laventille. They're supposed to see development. They can never see development. All they see is destruction. They see all the neighbors and friends lose their life. They see all the neighbors and their life and full up in that their life that the PNM created in Port of Spain. That's created, but they like that building in Port of Spain over there. They like all of you, young brothers and young sisters, all of you in that building over there, and young sisters, to have you all in that suffering and dependent to them. It's time to move away from the PNM. Look for honesty. Look for representation. Look for honesty. Set goals again in life and give the UNC the opportunity. Your goals will come true. Go ahead, Lennox.
Yes, indeed, people. But of course, I didn't realize it's after 10 people, so we have to conclude. But of course, it was wonderful doing it to you. And of course, I want to end with, of course, to tell the PNM that what's sweet in goat mouth is sour in the bam bam. What's sweet in goat mouth, sour in the bam bam. We said that it was prophetic between 2015 and the 28th of April. Now it is a manifestation. Listen to this.
They send me down like prophets of old to cool this tongue, keep it more control. Me I get no vision and thing, neither no big message to bring. All they tell me, hey man, I'm a Kaiseronian, go and sing this song through the land. Keep singing every day.
Yes indeed, people. Of course, we'll pay it a little later, but let's get Mr. COP's parting words before we make our departure out of here. It was a beautiful one. I really enjoyed it. I sweated inside here, but the information is so crucial and so critical that you needed to get it tonight. And of course, tomorrow night, we will have some more to deepen the plot and to deepen the reality that the PNM is not just toxic, but is a cesspool of corruption, nepotism, and political and financial predators. COP.
Well, Lennox Smith, all I want to say is thanks to all the listeners and viewers of the Corridor Transformation Thanks for giving that love and support and showing that appreciation. I appreciate that a lot. Thanks for being a part to the government. Um, I really want to see all you have some speedy investigation into Balize House. I think I want to see the corridor transformation get some support. I feel very disappointed to know that when I watch at the TV now, I can't see the ground report. I thought that when government changed, the ground report would have get opportunity and we'd have seen the ground report every morning. Um, the support only give the ground report. I just ask them, please don't give that type of support to the corridor transformation. I want to see appreciation support towards the corridor transformation.
I'll
and I
tell you
have no
something.
problem
Let me
with
give
me.
you a secret. Let me give you a secret. I suppose I should say it based on the direction you're going. Yes, I did get some communications to suggest that the support that we will be getting will not be like that which you spoke of earlier as far as the ground report is concerned. I will speak to you on it. I only got that message, I think, over the weekend, which was, of course, I think Saturday or Sunday there. So I am to submit some information in order to start the process. All right? Yeah.
Yes, I will see the development. I will see the development. Nobody had to tell me the development. I will see the development. And thanks to all listeners and viewers. We had a wonderful night. Josh, good night to you and to your family. Lennox Smith, good night to you and to all the listeners and viewers. Thanks for locking on to the corridor transformation. Mr.
Same to you
COP,
as well, my friend. Same to you, my friend. Same to you. All right, people, so we have come to the end. Don't forget tomorrow morning, the ground report. Andy and myself, as we continue with these and other stories. Don't forget, it's from 6 to 9. And yes, it is on the Talk City. Talk City, you'll get us both on YouTube, Facebook, as well as any other platform that we may come on stream from time to time or add it to the system. But just to make sure that you key in or lock on to or you link to Talk City 91.1. That is where you're going to get us. Nowhere else. You won't get us on the corridor. You won't get us, of course, on Real Media TT. That has been discontinued, but of course we continue to work in the night. COP and myself on this platform, and Andy will of course be doing some things on the Real Media TT as well. So nobody can stop us. Nobody will stop us, and of course what is to be will be, because I mean good is always a better thing, or good will always prevail over bad, and that is a pellucid fact. Have a wonderful rest of the night once again. God bless. Bye-bye.